How's it going, everyone? It's CodyBPyrotechnics and welcome back to the channel. Another day, another fireworks show. And today we've got a really awesome show for you. I'm gonna get you guys to walk through. Scripted the whole thing, so I'll have the script in hand kind of when I'm going through it so I know exactly what's going off at what time. Because I scripted this show, I do feel like I know this show a little better than most other shows we do because a lot of them Garrison actually scripts and he's the one behind the camera right now. And so I'm gonna try to get you guys the best walkthrough I can, show you guys all the different segments that I'm running, and this is a 3-position show with 6 channels. We've got a 72M here, a 72M down there, and we have 2 18Ms on the far left station. So I'm gonna start you guys down here on the right station, and for the opener, I'm running 15 of these purple parties. And so on the right station, you know, all 15 are gonna go at once. So it's this little 200-gram cake here by Dominator, all purple effects. And like I said, there's 15 of them in total going off at one time. Now you're noticing there's only 5 of them here. That's because we're on the right station. So if we take you over to the middle, this is where you will see another 5 of the purple party cakes. And we kind of angle them out like this. So hopefully we just get this gnarly spread for the opener. I think it's gonna be really cool. There is also 3 more cakes in the opener. We'll get to that after this. But taking you guys over here to the left station, you can see we have 5 more purple parties making 15 in total. Now, the next thing in line, so this actually fires with purple party in the opener. We've got 3 of these shots, and more shots by Pyro packed brand. And this is a brand that we're gonna start doing more of on the channel. You can get more of these fireworks per case than you can with regular consumer fireworks. And as you can see, this zipper cake right here that doesn't look all that big features 242 shots. And you'll notice we have another one of those right here, and we do have another one down there on the right station. So that's another 3-station effect. So now you can kind of see that opener before it happens. 15 purple parties all at once and 3 of these 242 shot cakes. It's gonna be absolute chaos. It's gonna look more like a finale than an opener, but we like to open strong. I'm getting thirsty. Let's see what I got left. A sip. Mouth is getting dry already. That'll have to work. So now we're at the point where we're done with the opener and we start with the body of the show. Now the body of the show features the fireworks that kind of fire one at a time. However, we don't like it that boring. So we try to do at least 2 or 3, one on the left and right station or one on all 3 positions to kind of make it entertaining and just a little more interesting to watch as the show's going on. So immediately after the opener, we hit 2 of these Ox Expresses, which is this cake right here by Mad Ox Fireworks, as you can see. So we've got not 1, but 2 of these. And there's 1 here on the right station, and there's 1 down there on the left station. So now back over here on the middle station, I've got 2 of these Cosmic Break 200-gram cakes by Link Triad brand fireworks. Both of those are firing at the exact same time. And as you can see, the position of those in the fireworks show are right here. So those fire at the same time. Then we go into 2 of these on targets. But you see the channel is different, 2 and 3. And so 2 and 3 means left and right station. So over here, this is channel 2. And this is where we're going to fire one of these on targets. And we have another one of these firing over there on the right station. Now this next part here is kind of interesting. So we'll take you back to the middle station where you're gonna notice a rack. But the cool part about this rack is it has 4 igniters. So we've got 2 on that side and 2 on this side. So the next thing in line after on target is 6 double break shells. So that would be this right here. Now I've got 6 of them going, that slow fuse there, and I've got that timed out at 17 seconds. And the entire rack is filled up with the 6-inch special effects shells by Dominator Pro level. So this is actually the same brand that makes my positive pyro cake over there, the Dominator Pro level. And they've got a shell kit here featuring 24 shells with Nishiki's, rings, mines, and double breaks. So the coolest part about this 24-shot rack is I built it like a cake, okay? So it's not firing continuously. We're firing out of this rack in segments. So if this makes sense, we don't actually jump this fuse over to the next 6 tubes. We stop it here and fill in that hole with hot glue. So this should just be 1 segment fired with an igniter out of this entire rack. Next in line, we stay in the middle position. And so after Cosmic Break and that, we do a Nishiki Willow segment. Now, unfortunately, I would love to run willows across all 3 stations. I think that looks really cool. We've done it in shows before, but this time I went with all the willows in the middle. So I start with this cake that lasts 40 seconds. Then I come into Positive Pyro, which lasts a little bit less than that. So I start with the longest cake and end with the one that lasts the shortest duration. So after Nishiki Thunder, we hit Positive Pyro. Then we come into Nishiki because I think this one here only lasts 10 seconds. And then if we take you back over to this rack, I do fire 6 of the Nishiki shells out of that Dominator kit. And that's going to be our little willow segment for the show. You can't do a firework display without featuring some sort of willows, and so we've got low breaks, medium, large, and extra large, and I think that's just going to complete the entire willow break, and it's going to look super cool. So after that willow segment is done, we come into another left and right station hit, and it's going to be these two Buzzsaw cakes. So we've got one down here on the left and one down there on the right, and this is a 176 shot firework by Pyro. Now the reason why this cake is a little further away from the position there, and it's the same over there too, you'll notice they're further in, and that's because I couldn't find anything to fire them with in the middle, and I didn't want them to be too far apart or it's just gonna look like two little zipper cakes. But bringing them closer together like that, I think should complete the fan at the top. I think it'll be kind of cool. And guys, before we continue with the video, I just want to give a huge shout out to Dominator Fireworks. They've helped me out with not only my own firework cakes, but they've also helped me out with this video quite a bit. And so I want to give just a massive shout out to Dominator Fireworks. It's a great brand. I couldn't imagine working with anybody else when it comes to doing cakes like this and CodyB Neon. And I want to let you guys know that this video is brought to you in part by Dominator Fireworks. So we will be featuring a lot of Dominator in this show. And again, Dominator, thank you so much. I know we've got some stuff coming up with some canister shells that we haven't quite told the public about, but my God, you guys are not going to believe that video, so stay tuned. So coming back to the middle station here, I do run a color segment, and I really liked how Garrison's show turned out. It was actually the last one we did, where he scripted a bunch of zipper cakes shooting with a 200-gram cake. It actually looked way better than I thought it would, with those breaks kind of just over top. So with no abs, they go way higher, right? But with the 200-gram cake, it's like a sweet spot. So I'm actually doing a color segment here, Color Flash 200-gram by Maddox and Colormania by Dominator. And this will just be a cool way to have a middle segment with a lot of color. And now I think immediately after that, we're starting on a new page here. So as you can see, this would be channel 1, Q16. So we're getting close to having to switch channels, but we come back to the rack, and this is where we fire 6 ring shells by themselves. So it'll be 17 seconds, just a ring shell after ring shell. And I think that'll be cool because if we get all 6 of those rings to break perfectly where everybody's going to be watching, they are really going to appreciate that. So now that we've walked a mile over here to Watermelon Moonshine, this is by Maddox Fireworks. I'm firing one over here on the left and one over there on the right. So this next segment here, we come back to the middle, and this is kind of another thing I've ran with 200-gram cakes, but it features the last 6 shells in this rack, which are going to be the mine with tail. Now, I wasn't sure, I know I've done a video on these shells in the past, like a full demo video. I couldn't remember if they were just mines and comets, or if they also featured a break. So to be safe, I shot those with some 200-gram cakes that I had left over. One of them is Furious Flamingo, the other one is Wicked and Purple Party. These 3 cakes are gonna fire with those mine to comet shells. And as you can see on the script, that's how many cues that takes up. Then we come back to another right and left with Good Vibes. And now that we know we're closer to that side, we'll walk you over here. So this Good Vibes cake here by Pyro is definitely one of the most solid, hard-hitting cakes that I have in this whole show. This one is super impressive. It's got those weird spider willows that we all like, where the crackling tails kind of come and hang down, but the breaks are really loud. So I think this is gonna be one of the most impressive left and right station cakes I've ever done. Now we gotta take you guys all the way back to the middle station. Garrison, we're getting our workout in today, huh? This is another middle segment here like Garrison did in his last show. I've got Rhythm and Booms, that would be the zipper cake, followed by a 200-gram cake firing somewhere in the middle or towards the end of this one. Now, the Rodeo cake here by Maddox Fireworks has these awesome tourbillons. Maybe we can get a shot of that on the side. So I think like all 8 shots in this thing feature those tourbillons, and I just think that it's gonna look really cool with this cake. And just so you guys know, we are still on the middle station, but just like the Nishiki Willow effect, you can't do a fireworks show without a red, white, and blue segment, and that's exactly what I'm doing next. So we start here with this America cake by Pyro. That's a 10-shot 500-gram cake that has red, white, and blue breaks, and we also have a white 200-gram cake here. Now you might be wondering, where's red and blue? Well, that's why we have the left and the right station. So if we take you over here, you know, everybody's gonna be watching from down there, right? So when we fire, we gotta make sure red is here, white is in the middle, and blue is on the far right. And as you can see, that's our nice little red cake that came inside the red, white, and blue assortment by Dominator Fireworks. And we're not gonna walk all the way down there if we don't have to, but basically the blue one is down there by that nice orange Mustang. Actually, that thing's a piece of crap. Whose car is that anyway?
Who's the douchebag that drives an orange freaking car?
So it's a good thing we didn't walk all the way down to that crappy Mustang, because over here we've got double barrel and it's firing with another double barrel. Oh my God, what was that? We're not gonna think about that. double barrel. Okay, I have this double barrel over here on the left. It's missing one of the caps. That's gonna bug me, but we've got one firing over here, and we do have another one way over there on the right. Let's walk away from whatever hopped at me. So moving on, we gotta go back to the middle station, which I believe is one of my final middle only segments, and it's gonna be these two right here. So I went with Sarcastic Smurf by Maddox Fireworks. It's a 200-gram cake that features really vivid blue mines to blue breaks. And then to complement that one, I went with High Riser by Dominator Fireworks. And just from that picture on the front, like that's exactly what it does. So this is gonna be another instance where there's just a ton of color going up in the sky at once, and I think it should be very bright and very pretty. Next segment is the crackling segment. So here in the middle, we've got a 169 shot crackling zipper cake by Dominator Pro Level. So we have that one firing here in the middle station, and then on the two left and right stations, we have the 100% crackle. I don't know if you can see it from here, but we'll take you up to it, and this is what it looks like. The thing I like about this one here is it actually came with an igniter port. So we don't have to poke this cake in the bottom. They take care of that problem for us right here at the top. And don't forget, we've got two of these. So we've got one firing here and one firing down there with that 169 shot zipper cake in the middle. Immediately after the crackling segment, we go into a 24 rack of canister shells, slow fused. I timed these out with that 26 to 28 second per foot green fuse, and it came out to about 104 seconds. So I don't know if I'm gonna be right about that, but that's why there's a step button on the Cobra. So if we happen to see that there's 20 seconds left on the remote, well, the last shell has already fired. We know we need to step to get to the next one in line. So there's not a 20-second dead zone in the air. Now this 24 rack of shells only has one igniter going into it. Now Garrison prefers to use two. And let's actually explain why he does that. So the reason why he would use two versus where I just used one is because I wrapped it around with quick fuse and let it right into the next tube. The problem with doing this is it fires these two shells at the exact same time. So I sorted every single one of these 24 canister shells by effect. That means the order they fire in should be the same from the audience's perspective. So if that's a little confusing, basically I've got one rack here and one rack on the right station that fire at the exact same time, and it's the same shells in every tube. So like this shell, let's say it's crackling here. If it's crackling here, it's gonna be crackling over there. And this one here, let's say that's a Nishiki willow. If it's a willow here, it's gonna be a willow there too. So hopefully we get that perfect synchronization up in the air with these shells firing, but we never really know with that fuse on the bottom. It's ultimately gonna depend on if I timed that out right. Garrison likes to use 2 igniters per row, and I did quick fuse. So basically what happens is even though I sorted all 24 of these effects, these two shells are gonna fire at the same time no matter what. Because that quick fuse is so fast, it's gonna rip around this rack, but it avoids having to use another igniter. So you guys can decide what you'd rather do. I just went with this on here because I didn't have another spot for an igniter. Looking back, I probably could have tagged it onto one of the modules, but didn't really feel like it, so I just went with quick fuse. And by the way, all 24 of the canister shells in this rack are the Simply the Best by Dominator Fireworks. Now, as if 48 canister shells firing simultaneously wasn't cool enough, we're also gonna be hitting this 100 shot cake here by Pyro Packed. It's going to start a little bit after the 2 racks start. And the reason I did that is because this has a slightly shorter duration than the 2 racks. So I wanted to make sure this starts somewhere in the middle, but ends at the same time. So now we are on to the finale of this fireworks show. And you might have been wondering, what on earth am I doing with these Roman candles throughout this whole setup? Like you're looking around and seeing them just in random spots. I've never really used Roman candles quite like this before, but because each one of these Roman candles happens to be a 5-shot salute candle, I figured I would try something new on this finale. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a singular salute candle right here in the middle of the show. I've got it timed out at about 15 seconds. So I know that that one salute candle is going to end 15 seconds later. 15 seconds later, I hit 2 of them, which will be this one and that one. So after one of them fires and finishes, 2 of them start and finish together. After that, I go into 3 of them. So that's why you'll notice I have one down here on that station, one way down there, and an additional one here in the middle to start with the 3. So it's gonna look like volleys of salutes going up before the finale. Now the Roman candles only trigger the finale, but after that is when we come into the real finale. So you know we had to end the show off with a bang, and that is why for each station out here, we have 2 of those quick fused little Thunder King cakes. They look like this on the bottom. So if we get an up close shot of that, you can see just quick fuse it around the bottom and the whole cake fires at once or pretty close to at once. You might get a couple of shots there in the middle. that linger, but it's ultimately gonna last like 2 seconds, so it's pretty instant. After all those fire, I got them about 2 seconds, and then so 2 seconds later, we're gonna hit these fan racks, and inside of here, I've got the Master 120 shells and 2 salutes. So there's a salute shell here, a salute shell here, and then these are Master 120s on the outer, and I've got one here, one down there, and one there. So it's gonna give us a really nice break spread at the end. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the final firework to fire in the show. It's gonna go all at once because this is already a really fast cake. You can see what we did there on the bottom. It is a triangle cake, bit sketchy, but in 2 seconds, 21 of the loudest salutes you can get on the consumer market are going up at once. Well guys, that is my fireworks show. I spent a lot of time putting this together. I actually had to set up the entire show in my backyard, sit there on a lawn chair, and write down all my ideas before they ever made it onto the computer and onto the script that I'm holding in my hand right now. I'm really hoping that I got the times right here, because you never know with that green fuse on the bottom of those racks. That could be one of the only things in the show that I don't think I timed out right. And the other thing that scares me is the Roman candles. Now, of course, we can always step it on the Cobra, but with the Roman candles in particular, if I step it too hard, it's going to fire all of them at once, and I really want that to be a build-up for the finale. So I'm hoping that it just works. And that's about the most that any of us pyros can hope for when we're doing a fireworks show. We just hope it works. So as you guys can see, the sun is going down, and that means it's almost shoot time. We're gonna shoot here in about an hour and a half, and if we turn the camera around, you can see that people are starting to show up for the event that we're doing this for, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We did this show last year, but we actually did it on that hill way over there. Maybe if I can get you a zoom in on that. So that hill is where we did it last year, but I wanted to get it closer to the band this year because I felt like, you know, if people are watching there and we're shooting fireworks off on that hill, they're not gonna look that big. So that's like at least a mile away, and I just didn't feel like these people really got the full effect, if that makes sense. So I wanted to get 10 times closer this year, and I believe this show is also gonna be 10 times better. And with that, we will see you at shoot time. Alrighty guys, here we go. Kind of smoky out here. Double break shells. that worked out perfectly. Okay, those mine with comet shells do have a break at the top. That's good to know. Canister shell racks are going a bit quick. Thank God for the step button. Finale time. Oh my God. Garrison, what'd you think of the show?
Oh man, hey, I gotta hand that to you. That was freaking awesome.
Nice.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
So you like the show a lot?
Yeah. Everywhere you look, there was lights.
And now it's dark. All right, Macy, what was your favorite part of Dad's show?
Can you clap your hands?
You can't eat that.
Say yay!
It's not a toy. She liked it. 10 out of 10 can confirm. Well, guys, the show was awesome, but now it's time to hose down the cakes. As you can see, everything did go off. I was watching it and watching the Cobra at the same time, and it doesn't look like there was a single mishap in the whole show.